So last night here, I was at a Hoosier reception, and I learned something about myself. Really cool. We do the Hoosier Heroes, okay? And I was kind of hanging out with Jimmy Dale, and I learned that I drive a Ford Escape, okay? Manual transmission Ford Escape, and I sit at the red light, and I look around, and I'm like, man, oh man. I learned that I'm really not that far from being a little gangster. I'm pretty close to that as far as that goes. Am I close to being a little gangster?
You're probably a little slow, but I mean, if you're racing in a straight line, you're halfway there, you know?
I'm definitely a lot slow, that's for sure. Jimmy joins us. He's one of the Hoosier Heroes. Jimmy, just describe, and my first question to last night's the first question today, describe what you do in the drag racing world.
This all started from putting on our own race called Small Tire Gangsters at Yellow Belly in Grand Prairie, Texas, and it stemmed from that to Little Gangsters. And so at this point, I would say what I do for a living is make YouTube videos, promote races, run Little Gangster races, and drive a race car. You know, a little bit of combination of everything.
You describe as what was really appealing to me is it's something that's very relatable to people because it's not really far from it's not me and my Ford Escape sit at the light, okay, but it's really not that far what you do from driving on the street.
No, it's a lot faster. I think people underestimate how fast 530 is. It's a lot faster than most people want to believe, but you know, a dead standstill to 660 feet in 5 seconds, it's somewhere around 130 to 140 miles an hour. That's getting after it. You know, when you say it like this, 0 to 140 miles an hour in 5 seconds, you go, that's fast.
Yeah. Man, that is crazy. That really true is. But the cars you run, they're modified, obviously, but it's a good variety and it's relatable from a street car perspective.
Yeah, I would say that most people who put their heads down and really focus on building a car these days, most of you can build a little gangster car. You know, we've talked about it in the last few years. Horsepower's become cheap, right? Horsepower's become real easy to get with the LS and turbos and all the variations of ways to make power. And nowadays, someone with a junkyard LS and a nice turbo and maybe some focus, you know, may take a little bit of focus, but you can go 530 with ease. In your Fox Body Mustang that you found, and I really think you could build a little gangster car for less than $20,000 and be competitive.
See, that's the thing. That's why I like that's the relatability I like with it. I think that's really, really neat. Now, you also mentioned your YouTube videos. Let me get this right. You're driving around the country half the time with a guy named Poland. Is that correct?
Yeah, Poland's my right-hand man, and we both founded Little Gangsters and own Little Gangsters outright. Something we did that was really smart probably early on was as we started to make money with Little Gangsters, we decided, you know, instead of just putting this money in our pockets, maybe we should spend the money on copyright trademark stuff. So we've been fighting that battle for the last 2 years, and it just got done last month. And I'm thrilled to say that we own and copyright trademark Little Gangsters 100%, and that's an awesome thing. But Poland and I travel the country, and the journey getting there is almost more fun than the actual race. You know, we won World Series of Pro Mod this year, and a lot of times when we are racing these big races, I have a tendency to put my head down and become a serious racer pretty quick and stop filming things. And I think what people like to watch the most is the goofing off from track to track and the giving each other hell. And you know, this morning Poland's not feeling well, and he said he hurt his finger. He's got a hangnail. And so, of course, I get on Facebook and I say, well, Poland was on the stage last night and he got his finger stuck in the thing, and, you know, he's not going to make it. But I'm sure he'll get out of the hotel eventually.
I love it. I really do. And I think it's absolutely amazing what we have. All right, we're doing a mystery fan question. So this is a mystery fan question. I don't know what's in there. We'll just ask it up, fire it off, and all right. See what we got here. Okay, if you had to pick any other profession, what would it be? Oh, I like this. I like this one for you. I like this one for you because you have such a rich passion for what you do, and you're a young guy also. But what would it be?
I mean, I'm living my dream first off, right? I was 11 years old, and my older brother took me to Kennedale, Texas Raceway, and we watched Frankie the Madman Taylor and Galen the Texas Bounty Hunter Smith and Pro Mod, and I was hooked, right? At 11 years old, it was like, this is what I want to do for my life, right? And here I am living that dream. So I can't say like, oh man.
It's like a nightmare. It would be a nightmare, right?
It would be a nightmare. I'm absolutely living my dream. I don't even know. This is it.
Well, I have people ask me, how are things going? How's business? How's this, that, and the other thing? I said, so far I haven't had to get a real job. And that's really what it boils down to. I haven't got a real job. Final question for you here. You're a Hoosier Hero. What does that mean to you to be part of a different group? It's a real, we got dirt late model racers and everything else. What's that mean for you, with your style of life and racing?
Early on, before I was Jimmy Dale, right? Before I was Jimmy Dale, before the YouTube channel, before being on the Street Outlaw Show, before creating Little Gangsters and all our success, we were racing at a track in Texas called Indian Valley. And Indian Valley has a grass shutdown.
Grass shutdown?
You got about 200 feet to shut that car down, and after about 200 feet, you're going to go off in the field. And it's just the culture there that you hit the brakes the best you can, and then you dump it in the field, right? And you try not to get into your partner next to you, and it's just how it is, right? Some real wild, wild west stuff that still happens today. And I was racing at Nakona, and I met some guys and ended up beating this guy, Wes. He'll give me hell for telling you all this, but I ended up beating Wes, and I met Wes and his crew guys, and then I was leaving, and Wes and his crew guys said, hey, we're going to dinner, you're coming. I just moved out to that side of Texas and trying to meet some new people, and we went to dinner and we shut this little Mexican food place down. They're flickering the lights to get us out of there. And that Monday I got a phone call. It was Nitrous Express, right? And I answer the phone call, and it's those three guys that I had dinner with. So those three guys I had dinner with, I had no idea that they were the big wigs at Nitrous Express, and they sponsored me 100%. We said, we believe in what you're doing. Now the next 3 years will go on to be the most prosperous 3 years of my life. And it really reminds me the same thing as my partnership with Hoosier, when they came to me and said, hey, we believe in what you're doing and we want to support you in any way. And it reminds me of that where we started with Nitrous Express, and now Hoosier has that same enthusiasm and support for us. And there's really not a way to put it in words, just really fortunate and lucky to have a great friendship with my buddy Frank Papp over there, who's the designer for drag tires, and we get to talk all things drag racing all the time. Everybody else over there cares about dirt or whatever, and both me and Frank are laser focused on drag racing, and it's really cool to have that relationship with them. I appreciate it very much.
Your bio says chasing the dream of racing for a living, and you are. Jimmy, pleasure meeting you. Congratulations on the Hoosier Hero. Great talking to you, man.
Thanks, man. It was great talking to you.
There we go. That's Jimmy Dale, Little Gangsters. You got to go see them in a drag strip when they come to a town near you.